Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? OCD Mikey, hi-fi guy. Booyah. Up for another Mikey show, live and in living color here. Coming at you from Atlanta, GA. And ready to talk audio or talk whatever the heck we want to talk about. I avail my peanut brain for your probing right now. So feel free to probe my peanut, if you know what I mean. Not that peanut. And those are peanuts anyways. Look at this. Brought to you. It's not brought to you by Corona. I don't have any sponsors. Sponsored by 11 Stereo, my company. But yeah, I'm drinking a Corona NA beer. I actually like the NA beers out of the cans better than the ones out of the bottles. Imagine that. It just tastes more like cheap beer. So, yes, thanks. Nice hat. I got this as a gift from the man that will be joining us in 15 minutes. This is a Synergistic product. Ted has been known to make some very funny. We'll ask him. I got a sneak question I'm going to ask him. He did condoms, I think, one year. And I wonder what the tagline was on the condoms. I don't know. Love the hat. You know what, Nick? Make audio great again, man, because this shit is lame. Yo, pimp, what it is, Dave? Davey. So yeah, man, and I'm wearing it California style. How I wear them, I like to wear my hats flat across. So yes, we'll let people chalk up, but yeah. So we're gonna have a great guest. Ted Denny from Synergistic Research will be coming in today, or coming on the stream, and I really have gotten to know him pretty well, and man, we're really on the same page in a lot of ways. He is absolutely a black sheep, like I am. He is definitely a founder mentality. Our conversations, it's man, when you have a conversation with another founder, it's a certain type of mentality and a certain type of conversation. So it's really always great. And he likes to break the mold. He's got the same respite. Is that how I use that word for the industry that I do? I don't even know if that's a correct use of that word, but the same, barfy, whatever. I can't even come up with the term right now. The same feeling, the same resentment towards the industry. He's been in the industry a little longer than I have. I think a lot longer than I have. He came in as a single young guy with an idea and little experience, and just blazed his way hardcore and penetrated the market pretty well. And so he's a great guest. I love talking with him. We have great conversations. With the label still on, you got to keep the label on, dude. It's only proper, man. You can't take that off. Yes, same mindset. Absolutely. Same disdain. Yeah, or mindset for the industry. Yes. Disdain is a good word. Disdain on my shirt needs to come off. So let's see. What else can I tell you? I did make, okay, so Dave, here's Drago checking in from Evanston, where the heat wave is happening in Chicago. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Dave came by. He's watching right now, Dave Olson, who's got a kick-ass TAD system. Well, he still has it. Now he's moving from California. Hang on a second. Okay, it's not coming up. Okay. Hang on a second. Hey, buddy.
Hey, bro. Sorry, it's not coming up on my iPad.
Okay, so let me
email it.
Okay, so what? Yeah, what? Let me see here. Okay, let me grab this. Okay, so what is the email?
Sailor, SAILOR.
Okay.
TED. Sailor Ted.
Okay. At
gmail.com.
Okay.
I got that when that was in beta back then. I was sailing around the world.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's an epic story, man. I just It's hard to imagine, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I just sent it to you, buddy. You should have it. Okay. Okay, cool. See you. Goodbye.
Listen, Steve, I'm gonna sell
Okay.
it to the monkeys.
Okay, cool. He's getting sold to the monkeys. That's what he tells his damn poodle, that the poodle's going to get sold to the monkeys if he doesn't behave himself, that he's got a good deal. The monkeys gave him some good money for Steve. His poodle's name is Steve. It's pretty funny. Yes. So, where was I going? Where was I? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Dave came over. Dave listened. Dave's got a real, and he's a tough guy. He goes to every show. He listens to all the rooms. We go and we critique all the $1 million systems together, Dave and I, a lot of times when we're at the same shows. He's got a good ear, and he's got a $500,000 rig or $400,000 rig anyways. So, he's not just some guy posing, going into these systems, acting like he's a busybody when he's got, when he doesn't actually have a system. He's one of the guys that actually has the big ass systems, right? And so he came, and you know what? I knew there was something up with my rig. I had left it like that because, the system that I have right now is so unique and new and different that, and in many ways overwhelming, that, we put the speakers in, and there was this really sick abundance of bass that was fun, right? It was a really fun level. It compressed the whole room and did this wild thing. I know it was a little bit overdone, right? But I was being lazy. I wasn't going to move the speakers back. I just grew lazy because everybody that was coming over freaking liked it, and wasn't saying anything different. Dave did, and then he hit me right on that nerve, I'm like, fuck. I know exactly what it sounds like. I know what I need to do. I'm like, I'm going to fix it. I'll move the speakers back and in a little bit. So I did that yesterday, moved the speakers back about 11 inches, towed them in a little bit more. So I was more properly angled. So it was more properly angled for where they were. And, it changes the bass. Here's the deal with the Fishers. The Fishers, wherever you drop them in the room, they image like crazy. It's easy. You can take them out of the box, put them in the room right away. You got a 3D image, and people, if they're not used to that level of 3D image, they may just leave them there and not try and improve anything. What you improve by setting them in the room, or what you dial in, either too much or not enough or just right, is the bass. And the bass has everything to do with how far those speakers sit from the corners. They need to be out from the wall. They can't be shoved in a corner. They're going to have no bass. If they are they need to be out in the room for the bass to breathe. And then if you bring them too far out in the room, or you have them perfectly lined up with your corners, you may get too much bass. We had the 470s in at the first show that I did at Capital Audio Fest, and it was too much bass for the room. People were like, "Damn, man, this is like blowing us away. It's too much." And so I'm glad that I had Steve. I'm glad that I had Dave come and kind of give me the hard-nosed reality check. It was kind of a little baby bitch slap, but it was in the end, it was like what I needed. Dave's a brother. He's doing it for my own freaking good. He teased me a little bit and gave me shit, and it prompted me, okay, I'll fix them. So I fixed them. Unfortunately, he was gone, so he'll have to come back to hear how they were fixed. And then because he still doesn't think he doesn't believe that the 160 watt single-ended triode can handle these speakers. I think they're doing a phenomenal job. But what I will do is I will add some big solid state monoblocks and give a comparison. And we'll see, and the question will be, does it grip everything better? It should grip everything better, being that it's not a tube. But these vacuum tube amps that I have right now have massive transformers. And so I think they grip pretty well, but you never know until you put some, a high wattage solid state in that. And it has to be a world-class solid state. And that's the thing. The world-class solid state amps that aren't analytical are very hard to find. So, we will check that out as soon as I get some. That is it. Dan, you can buy power cords from me. Alberto's power cords are made in China, I think. And they may not be. I should take that back. I don't know where they're made, but I know where those plugs, they look familiar. Let's put it that way. They're you can get ones that are 10 gauge silver plated copper. Dave, Dan, didn't you get any power cords from me? Yeah, I can't borrow Dave's amp, dude. It's 400 pounds. It's 400 pounds. And you know, it's like that thing is, you need piano movers to move it. And you know, and there's no more. I've already sold out, Playback Designs of their $100,000 stereo amp, you know. But if there's people that want them, I can make another a 5-piece round. I have to have 5 buyers. If I get 5 buyers, we make SPA8 again. So anybody that wants the top of the line SPA8 400-pound best amplifier in the world, better than my monoblocks, yes. They will be, they can be available. I just need to know that I've got buyers. If I know I got buyers, I'll go ahead and I'll invest the dough because they're $100K each. So I'll invest the dough and buy them if I've got committed buyers. That's all there is. Where's Mikey? Right here, baby. Right here, baby. So anyways, we are closing. Yeah, we got a couple minutes before. So that was good seeing Dave. I've got reports back from Michigan. You'll see me up in Michigan in a room with 470s where they're also kicking ass. I will record. Andrew's very happy with them. Revelry in Seattle has some 470s. I've got another customer in Seattle going down to listen to the 470s. If he likes the 470s, he's going to buy 570s. So that ought to go well. Yeah, it's a good hat, Dan. It's this is Ted. Ted made this hat and he gave it to me as a gift. So yes. So, and then where else are the 470s going? I mean, 470 is by far the most of those speakers I sell. I probably sell 1 or 2 a month and pairs, and everybody's absolutely flabbergasted by them. Absolutely blown away. There's 670 going to Michigan. I just found that out a day ago. So there's a pair of 670 going to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. So that'll be pretty badass. What do we got here? Is there such a thing as building a room based on the system? Well, yeah, of course. Example, if you could build a new construction room, would you have an ideal length, height, width, and height? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. It depends on the speakers, man. It depends on the speakers and the amp, the system. You know, how big is the system going to be? You can build a room, or you can just say, you know, I mean, there's certain parameters. Like once you get over a certain size, you need a whole different level of speaker. And then it's like, are you trying, you said building a new construction listening room. So if all that's being done in there is listening, then, and you're using up that whole space, the bigger the room, the bigger the speaker, the bigger the room, the more expensive the system. So depending on your means would depict how you built that room out. You know, if you want to do $1 million rig, you could do a giant room. If you want to do a $25,000 rig, you're going to have a small room, or you're going to use one end of the room and you're going to sit close to it, you know? So it's kind of an idea of how far away are you going to sit from the speakers? How far do you need to project sound, you know, is really the bottom line with that. So yeah. And then if you can build it and you're going to build the room, we've got somebody, Dave is doing it right now in Louisville, Kentucky. And I will be helping him with that, or consulting in some way. We'll be talking at least regarding it. And because he's going to put his big playback back in and all that kind of stuff. And it is going to be a location as well for the Hi-Fi Tribe just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. And it'll be a big room. It's going to be a TAD R1 room with Playback Designs SPA8. And I think his is going to be like 24 by 32 or something like that. It's basically like a 3-car garage that is going to be a room. So yeah, and then you do special things. You make a room inside a room if you're really going for it. That's what Dave's going to do. So you have the outer structure of the room, and then you build a room inside of it. So it's not connected to the outside structure. And that is a room that is designed for, vibration and resonance. So you resonance control the whole room. So it's resonance controlled. The walls don't vibrate, they don't resonate at certain frequencies. That's the real way to balls to the wall do it. If you've got you're just going balls to the wall, you build a room, acoustically optimized room inside a structure, and it's separate from the main structure. In your room or in others, how often have you heard any Maggies sound better with tweeters inside instead of outside? Or is outside almost always better? I've always heard it better on the outside. I've never heard it. I know what it sounds like when it's on the inside, and it's too centered in the middle. Some people, audiophiles, some people, when they listen, they want to hear like a ball of sound in between the speakers. It's like this focused ball of sound in between the speakers. I can't stand that shit. I like it with no boundaries, so that it goes all the way out left to right, the whole freaking room, and there are no boundaries. But some people like it focused in between the two drivers. And when you put tweeters on the inside, that's what it does. It focuses a ball of sound in between the tweeters. Anytime I've heard, it doesn't have this wide open limitless sound stage, which I like. So I always put tweeters on the outside, toe them in, put them almost to the walls, and toe them in hard, depending on the height, of course, and the width of your room. But you put them wider than closer, and then you toe them in, and then you get this ghost image in the middle. However, Maggies, are very limited in their dynamic ability. So while I used to be a huge Magnepan guy, I still am. I think Magnepans are great. But panels, I used to be a panel guy. I had analysis audio and all this stuff. That's what I used. But I found their limitations, and I found a box speaker that I never thought I would find that could do the imaging that the panels can do. And when I had that same imaging and boundless soundstage teamed with dynamic drivers coming out of a Stone box, which is different than out of an MDF box, it's fantastic. It stopped all my desire for panels, because to do a panel is very complicated. You need to add subwoofers, in my opinion. You need to add active crossovers. You need to get everything dialed in the room right. You need to get the phase correct and the subs. And it can take years to get it perfect. It took me years to get it perfect and to understand it all. So for the mere mortal person just reading on Audio Gone forums or whatever, some forum, and you're trying to figure out how to do Maggies, or even by just watching my videos, I make it look easier than it is. I've had like 8 years learning Magnepans, and tuning them and figuring them out. And so now I could do them much quicker. But if I had to learn all over again, it would take me years to get them right. And I just don't think it's good form for me as a seller to put people into a compromised situation where you are basically you work for your rig. Your rig is now going to make your ass go to work until you get it right, and it is a lot of work. I just don't think that's fair to do to anyone, and many people dug what I was doing with the Maggies. They like it because it's on a budget, and then they get involved and they're like, holy shit, man, this is crazy. You can get it there. You have to be willing to and be patient. You have to be willing and patient and put a lot of time into it. So for some people, to save the money, it might be worth it. And I know I got off on a tangent there. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Tribe. Sounds like you had a great vacation. Hope everything is going well. Look forward to the show today. Clark checking in from Oahu. Right on, man. Yes, everything is going terrific. Building a room within a room, 24 by 28. Okay, there it is. Now, how high are the ceilings? My shop site says you're out of stock on the 5-foot power cords. I need 10-foot power cords. Yeah, that's why you need to talk to me. I have materials. I can make 25-foot power cords, you know. I'm looking at Dura Studio Kit. Oh, okay. I have no idea what that is. Hey, Tribe, jumping in a bit late tonight. No problem, Tommy. Sonny, hey, Mikey, what's the difference between ribbon and AMT? Okay, so I'll tell you the technical difference. An AMT is a high surface area tweeter. Okay, it's like this. And what they do to make it fit into that thing is they fold it. Okay, and then all you see are the little edges of the folds. It's what's called a pleated diaphragm tweeter. But what it is, it really, by folding it like that, you're getting a tweeter that has a massive surface area. And AMT tweeter, you know, it's funny. Here's how you can tell, and it's if anybody says like, okay, well, I don't like AMT tweeters, you know, they're too harsh or something like that. It just shows their lack of experience in the industry, because it's like saying, I don't like the, you know, Burr Brown, whatever, 7418 chip, you know. Well, you can't say you don't like the chip, because the chip goes into a circuit and the chip will sound completely different based on the circuit. So no one that knows a shit about audio would ever say, I don't like that chip. So if somebody tells you, oh, I don't like ESS Saber DACs because of that chip, you know that they're an amateur, okay, by that comment, because anybody knows ESS chip designed by the Chinese is going to be harsh. ESS chip in a DAC designed by Denmark is going to be completely different and sound totally smoother. Okay, so you can't in saying, oh, I don't like you know, a certain type of cap or whatever. It's just kind of foolish. So an AMT tweeter is, you can't classify them. You have to, they are capable of very high bandwidth, and they are capable of high output, and they're extremely durable. Okay. A ribbon is an actual, like it sounds, a thin piece of ribbon that just goes straight down behind the magnet or whatever, in between magnets actually, and it's a thin ribbon. If you walk up to that thing and you go, you just totally ruined your ribbon. It just totally went and twisted, and you just jacked it up. So they're very delicate. That is their downfall, and also their strong suit is that they're delicate. So they do very refined highs, very effortless highs, and they go out to, you know, the stratosphere many times with their bandwidth. They're also very good. I love raw tweeters, you know, you know, they're just a little more delicate. They're just a little bit different. They don't have the same output that an AMT does. And if they're long, like in the Magnapan, depending on where you're sitting, you can have phase anomalies between the top of the tweeter in the center of the tweeter, because they're different distances from your ear, you know. So AMT doesn't have that problem. I believe the AMT has a wider dispersion, and ribbon tweeters are very directed. They are like, if you move your head a little bit, you'll be out of the I think there's a wider dispersion pattern, as far as I understand, in AMT as well. So, you know, you choose whatever you like, but the bottom line is, you know, we should be talking about speaker designs, not tweeter designs, unless you're making a speaker and you want to talk about design elements. So let me see. Hang on, because I've got Ted's waiting here. Okay. Taylor Ted at gmail.com. Okay, here we go. Let me get this. Okay, hang on, buddy. Okay, that's what I sent it to. Let me see. Let me go. Email. Compose. Paste. I just pasted it. Yep, it's the same one. Link. Let me get it here. Link is like this. Copy this. Excuse me a second, everybody. I'm just sending a link here. Okay. There it is. Okay, yeah, I can see it's you, brother, because it's got a picture of like the Caribbean or some, Southeast Asia. Okay, link. Okay, it's sent again, brother. Sent again, man. So, 10-foot ceilings. David, yo, what's up? 10-foot ceilings in Dave's 24 by 28 room inside a room. Ted, I just sent you the link again, the second one, and it's got the same image right here. This is the image on your email, is that one. So I'm sure I got the right email. Your large 2020 by room doesn't look like a square on video. It looks like a preferred rectangle. How did you compensate so well? Okay, so it's really 18 by 21. Okay, so it's not perfectly square. And then what I did on the front wall, instead of the corners being 90s like this, I furred them out. So instead of it being 2 walls in the corner, it's 3 walls, 1, 2, 3. I closed up the corners. So and I made them very shallow. They came furred out. So the third wall makes it where there's no standing wave shit in the corner. It makes it much better for that. And then I have a slanted ceiling. So the ceiling, it used to be a carport that I closed in. So it's a granite. A concrete floor, and then it's a slanted ceiling. It's horn loaded. So the speakers, the ceiling there is 6 foot where those doors are. Those doors are short doors. They're 6 foot tall doors. The ceiling is 6 feet right there. And then behind me is a 9 foot ceiling. So it's a sloped ceiling that and a horn loaded room. No 90 degrees in the front. And then I've got wool felt on the walls that is 1/8 of an inch thick that covers every wall. And then I have some reflective surfaces in there. And I got some tube traps, ASC tube traps. It's a very acoustically, it's well done. The room is very well done. The enforcers in the house. What up, Zig? Long time no talk to, brother. Eating Barnaby's pizza and drinking some beers. Okay, Ted, there he is. I see you, buddy. Let me catch up, brother, and I'll bring you on. How do both compare to planar magnetic tweeters? Well, a ribbon is a planar magnetic tweeter isn't really the best tweeter. You better just do it with ribbon, because planar magnetic, what you're talking about, means putting it on a membrane, so you might as well just use the ribbon. Verity versus Fisher and Fisher. I know nothing about Verity Audio. Which location? Ziggy Northbrook. Yeah, okay. How does audio become great again? Kids nowadays are Bluetooth crazy to play music from phone to speakers. It's a great question. But those kids are going to grow up and make money, and we teach them. So, okay. So here, without further ado, I'm going to add to the stage Ted Denny, founder of Synergistic Research. Welcome, Ted.
Hey, Mikey. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
So I was on Facebook the other day, and it looks like Steve got a Manipoodle. Yeah.
He's a good boy. He gets his haircut tomorrow morning.
Oh, I thought he had a new haircut.
No. He's kind of a hippie right now.
That was an old pic. Yeah, he's dready.
Yeah, he's got dreads.
Nice. So welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
And how do you like the hat, brother?
I love it. Where'd you get that?
I already gave you cred, bro. Yeah, I already gave you cred for it. And the shirt, Ducati Corsa. Yeah, I'll be on the track. I'm doing a track day this weekend, bro, in Michigan.
I know. And
yeah, we'll get to the. There he is. Look at
there's
that little
my
guy.
buddy.
Yeah, he's the best, man. He's so
my
mellow.
he's like a 5-year-old boy in his first day of kindergarten forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
man. So here we are talking with the tribe, talking about whatever we want to talk about. But what I thought is so interesting.
I agree with you, though. It's not just the D to A chip or whatever that determines what a circuit's going to sound like.
Sure.
There's so much that goes into circuit design.
Yeah. And do you think you could say, well, everything with an AMT tweeter is going to be harsh?
I agree with you. That's amateur hour.
Yeah.
I mean, all things being equal, some chips have a signature And we create field inside the circuit, and that becomes less of an issue.
Yes, which is something that is a good segue. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about because, see, Ted and I went on a motorcycle trip for 3 days. We hung out in North Carolina, and Steve the poodle was with us, and we went and shredded the turns up there. Yep, Stevie was hanging out with us, man. He got to know Mikey, and we became buddies.
Yeah, he
And,
likes you.
Yeah, he's
your
a good
buddy
little guy.
Mike. It's Uncle
Mike. What's up, Steve? How you doing, Stevie? Oh, look at him, man. He's looking. Hi, Steve. Yeah. Remember me? He does.
He does. He remembers.
Yeah.
He's a smart boy.
He is. So Ted and I were talking about this technology, his technology, and how it works. And it's really quite interesting, in my opinion. Without me trying to explain it, why don't you let us know? I mean, he works in the field. The signal, many people, let me just do a quick intro. Many people think, a signal going through a wire is like, some sort of wave that's going through the center of the wire, and it's, moving down the wire like a freaking water hose. And like, if you unplug a digital cable, zeros and ones drop out.
Right. Or electricity gets dirty.
Yeah. So the truth of the matter,
greasy solar atoms.
Yes. So the truth of the matter is that the energy flows in an electromagnetic field that surrounds the cable, and it is a certain proximity to the wire.
Is the waveguide.
The wire is the waveguide. And so Ted creates technology in his products that work within that field. And it's a very interesting field of research and application. And Ted has applied it to audio cables, and it's really quite interesting. And feel free to tell us as much as you'd like, because I don't know how much of what we talked about is top secret or not.
Well,
yeah.
For years, everyone thought of electricity as water running down a pipe.
Right.
I used to think of it that way.
Sure.
And Ohm's law kind of thinks of it that way. And you can design a circuit that way. But we know by circuit propagation that signal travels a lot faster than the electrons moving down a wire. And as it turns out, any electron movement is a byproduct of signal propagation, gently sweeping the electrons along the wire. The signal itself, though, moves just below the speed of light. I mean, it's very fast.
Sure.
And that movement creates some sweeping effect. So you have this electromagnetic field around a wire. You have electromagnetic fields within circuits. You have electromagnetic fields from transformers. You got EM fields around capacitors. You have a big EM field around fuses, which is why fuses make a big difference, which we can segue into in a bit. But everything has a field around it. And fields, you look at Maxwell, fields interact with one another. So one field adjacent to another will affect that field, and vice versa. And it jumps. That's why everything is, technically in the signal path. Because even fields that aren't associated with the part of, with the field, even one field that is not signal is affecting the field that is signal.
Right. Yep. How about that?
That's why power cords make such a huge difference. It's not the last 5 feet of the AC chain. It's the 5 feet of the AC chain that's in strong proximity to everything else in your system. And so they're jumping over, they're affecting everything. Mechanical vibration imparts itself to the field. That's why bench measurements are meaningless. When you measure a component in isolation on the bench, you're not measuring how that field is interacting with another field. That's why you can have the same circuit in 2 different chassis and it will sound different.
Yep.
It's also why shielding the hell out of everything is not a good idea. Because when you shield the hell, you got a tan, Mike. You look good.
Thanks, brother. That's a Caribbean right there.
Yeah, you look like you had a vacation, my man.
Yeah, I did, brother.
So what were we just saying?
Yeah, you were talking about the fields and electrum in a different chassis. You can have a different
Oh yeah,
sound.
if you shield the hell out of everything, you prevent the field from propagating out and dissipating.
Sure. Yep.
So you're creating something tight around that field.
Yep.
And that's going to create refraction and compression. And that's why cables that are heavily shielded in a traditional way with, mylar foil, which can be a good thing for some digital circuits, but anyway, digital signals, which are square waves that are analog running down a wire that get interpreted as a digital signal later on. But anyway, it's not a 1 or a 0 running down a wire. Everything's an analog.
Right. Yeah.
So
Contrary to many people's belief.
There's just complex waveforms of different shapes and amplitudes and phase relationships. But so that's why shielding the hell out of everything closes the sound in. That's why, like, if you listen to an unshielded wire versus like an RG59, the RG59 is just not going to soundstage or have a sense of air and decay because of that tight shield, around the center conductor. It's also why when you really get a system dialed in, you lay the speaker cables on the floor, the soundstage drops. You lose the sense of air and decay, and that's because that field is interacting with the floor now, and it's distorting the signal when it gets to the speakers. Everything makes a difference. And
static on the carpet.
Yeah. And different floor surfaces are going to sound different because they're going to interact with the field in a different way. Yeah. Conversely, if your system just has one compromise piled on top of another and you assume nothing makes a difference, so you don't pay attention to anything except your boxes and your cable stew that you picked up on Audio Gone.
Yeah.
And you put one little thing in, it doesn't make a difference. So you think, oh, it's snake oil. But the more dialed in you get the system, the more you can hear everything. It's like a little change on a Formula One car can make a significant difference in, at Monza or wherever you're racing.
Sure.
But that same thing in a hoopty car and like a late model Sentra isn't going to do shit.
Right. Yes.
Most guys, even if they have expensive systems, a lot of guys don't have them set up right because they make a lot of assumptions. And they make.
What are the most common assumptions?
If speakers were not sold in a loom, if they were not sold in a pair, you'd bump into guys all the time with like a Wilson on the right channel and a Magico on the left because they read two great reviews, and I'm going to get them both together.
Yeah.
No, you got to pick a chair and sit in it, or you end up sitting on the floor. You end up sitting between too many chairs, that But we actually flood the zone when I build circuits. Ethernet switches, routers, power conditioners, ground conditioners, network servers. We create a field inside the component based on harmonics of the Earth's Schumann resonance. And then
7.83, baby.
7.83, but then there's a lot of different harmonics that you can do.
Oh, sure, of course.
And you can set up multiple harmonics at once.
Ah, very interesting.
And then there are thousands of delta phase points if you're running multiple channels and all of this affects the sound. And I've been playing with it for over 10 years now, and I've figured this out. I mean, we figure it out more and more every year, but we really have a strong handle on it now. Amazingly, because of AI, because there's billions of possible combinations, and we were able to use AI to get a handle on how the patterns emerge.
Sweet.
And so we have made a massive leap forward in the past 6 months. Just nice. It started with the Voodoo Streamer server. We learned, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm jumping all over the place, but everything affects everything. Everything's a field, and all of these fields overlap and interlap. And then different materials interact with the fields differently. Everything makes a difference. Everything.
Yeah. Agreed.
You build cables,
Agreed.
you know that.
I know
whether
it.
you know why X, Y, or Z is changing the sound,
Yeah.
you can
I know.
definitely hear it.
Yeah, I know that it does. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean there was a time I spent just buying materials, certain materials, piezoelectrics, ferromagnetics, all these different classifications,
Yeah.
and then trying them in slurries, painting them on cables or pouring them into the head shell in epoxy mixes of slurry and
that
stuff like that.
interacts
And
with the
all
field.
that shit changes. Yeah. Yeah.
Interacts with the field, and you can knock out some noise or parasitic noise that attaches itself to the field. We make something called an FEQ carbon, which is essentially it's a ULF, ultra low frequency field generator, and it floods the zone, and that creates a feedback loop into the entire system. It affects you as the human too. We are also susceptible to these fields.
For sure. We're electric CNS.
5G, baby.
Wait for 6, baby.
We're not going
Yeah,
there.
we're cooked. Yeah.
But I mean, if you spend too much time on your phone, you
Yeah.
feel meh.
Oh, for sure, brother. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I know it.
One of the reasons I wanted to get into motorcycles when I got back into it was I have a serious phone issue. I spend too much time on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't when I'm on the bike.
Yeah, right.
I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future.
Yeah, same with scuba.
I'm thinking about trail breaking to the apex, getting on the gas. And after a while, I'm not even thinking. I'm just stream of consciousness.
Yeah, that's the best.
It kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go sailing, that happens too, or when you're out of the ocean.
Yep. It's a zen clarity,
It is. Time slows down.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Your subjective perception of time changes.
Yes. It's
Especially
so true.
when you're not constantly thinking about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Speculating on the past, projecting into the future. All that shit compresses time.
Yeah.
The more you can just be in the moment, stream of consciousness.
You're like, damn, I got a lot of shit done today. That's how I felt there. I was like, shit, we got up, we had breakfast, we went scuba diving, we came back, we went for a hike, we came back, showered, went to dinner. Like, we did a lot of shit today.
Do you ever write at all?
I don't, but
But you do work. You do work.
When I do write, I write when I get ideas in the middle of the night that I know if I don't fricking write them down, I won't remember them. And sometimes I'll be trying to sleep and boom, these ideas come in and I'm like, shit, I got to write this down. I'll get up and start writing shit down because I'm like, otherwise I won't remember it in the morning.
Or how about like when you're working on a project, when you're really in the zone and you do an incredible job and you step back, it's almost like a third person did it. Have you ever noticed that or had that sensation?
Yes.
That's when your stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
My best work is always like that.
Yeah. When I did my patent, it was like that. I had this, and it comes and goes, right? It's like it comes, there's streaks and slumps. You get it, and when you get it, you'd ride that.
Everything is cyclical. Everything follows a wave pattern. And by nature, you can't stay peak all the time or it's not peak.
That's right. Yeah. So that's interesting. So you touched on it a little bit about your sailing trip. I don't think people know. Ted was telling me that he went for 3 years on a sailboat.
Yeah, and I've had enough.
I believe it, dude.
After 3 years is enough.
Yeah,
that was enough. 3 years at sea was enough for me.
Yeah. That's quite a.
Well, how long were you out for? 10 days?
7 days. 7 days on the water.
Did it seem longer than 7 days?
It seemed like 3 days.
Oh, it did.
It did.
It went quick.
It went quick. I mean, a lot of shit happened, but when it was over, I was like, it seemed like I had a ton of memories, but I was like, I really want to keep doing this. I felt like, I could do this for another. I'm just getting used to it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt because I never lived or slept on a boat or whatever. So at first, and then same with the diving, like the first couple of dives, I was getting used to my gear. It wasn't my BC and my reg. So mainly the BC and the weights, I had to get that properly set because I was using the guy's wife's thing. And then by the third dive, I was like, had it dialed, And then I
When
was
you get
getting
the
used to-
BC close though, and you control the amount of air you have in your lungs, you can kind of use that as
That's
a
how it
booster,
was.
too.
I wasn't using my lung. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the neutral buoyancy, so I'd fill up with my lungs and I'd go up, I'd blow it out, and I'd go down.
Correct.
But I could sit half full and be like Superman frozen in the air.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest feeling in the world, dude.
I did a ton of diving when I
Yeah.
was sailing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you
Super
get
cool.
dinner a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no rules
We
in the
can-
South Pacific about spearfishing lobsters, so
Oh yeah, right.
it's illegal as hell around here, but
Yeah,
it was totally fine on atolls in the middle of nowhere.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So that was dinner a lot of times. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had something down there called slipper lobster. Do you know
Oh,
what
yeah?
those are? Yeah, they're lobsters without. They don't have any arms, man. They look like it almost looks like a fucking cockroach. Like it's just like a segmented.
Was
it's
it
like,
good?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweeter than lobster.
Lobsters are bugs.
Are they? They look like it, dude.
They are bugs, dude. They're bugs in zero gravity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happens. They get big.
You get big, but they're huge cockroaches and spiders and stuff like that. That's what they are.
Yeah, crabs are the spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're underwater bugs.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
a ton of
wild.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a ton of fish.
and a ton of fish, and the fish are really curious. The ones that I really dug were the puffers. They're like the little puppy dog, aren't they? The puffers.
You ate a puffer fish?
No. I when I was scuba diving,
They're cute.
and they come up to you. They're super curious, and they are cute. You're like, hey, little buddy, and he comes up looking at you. I called it the puppy dog. He's like a little puppy dog coming up, just checking you out. They're not afraid. They're all mellow.
Dolphins can be kind of sketch, however.
Really, I would love to see dolphin, but they might come in. They're fast. They might be.
They're fast and they might fuck with you.
Really?
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah, and they get sick of the people down there after a
Well,
while.
if you got chicks with you and they're at that time of month, you don't want them diving if there's dolphins around. Yeah,
right. Yeah, or sharks. For God's sake.
As well.
Yeah.
Not to mention. Yeah.
Not to mention the old Mako.
Tiger sharks were always my
yeah.
concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, getting back to the audio thing in your products, is there anything new that you're working on that you can talk about, or you got anything on the horizon, or?
The biggest thing we've ever done, I'm flying back to California real soon. I'm trying to coordinate it because I've also got to do some dealer training while I'm out there. But yes, the biggest product we've ever done, there will be a lot of derision and hand wringing and snake oil and all that stuff, but it's going to compress it. It's going to implode my detractors, because imagine, I'm not going to get into how it works, but imagine a user interface where you talk to your phone, right? And your phone hears what's playing. It determines what the song is, and it gets the metadata for the song, right? Then it changes something in the system that's not in the signal path, but it's changing the field that the signal path travels through. And it does it in a way that is advantageous or aligned with the metadata and the emotional intent of the song. And it's like, holy shit, it sounds so much better once it makes the change. And you can be listening for a while, and then you can say to your phone, I really like this, but Diana Krall's voice is a little harsh. Can you make it a little sweeter? It changes the field, and bang, the voice is a little sweeter. Right? Mm-hmm. Or you're listening, and it's like, it's really good, but I wish the sound stage were a little deeper. Bang, it's a little deeper. Or you're listening to Floyd, and you're like, I wish the sound was just all around me. And boom, it's all around you. It's going to be really hard for these flat earth objectivists to say what I'm doing is snake oil. When they go to my room at a trade show, they talk to the iPad or the phone, whatever we're controlling the thing with, tell it what they want to hear, and bang, they hear it. How can people claim that snake oil? Hey, look, I told the system what I wanted to sound like, and that's exactly what it sounded like. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a game changer, and it is not in what you would consider the signal path. It's not manipulating the signal. It's not mechanically or electronic. It's not like DSP or anything like that.
That's right. That's
It's
why I'm totally into
changing
it,
the
bro.
field
Yeah.
that the signal travels through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's epic. You know, I'll tell the group a little secret. I knew about this when I asked Ted if he had anything new. It was my way to see if he wanted to talk about it yet or not.
Multiple patents
But
on
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
This
And
has
I heard.
applications way outside of our little high-end audio sandbox.
Yes, yes, for sure.
And I'm not going to get into all those applications, but we have 6 patents pending, and we may be adding some more.
Yep.
This is a huge, huge deal, Mike. Huge.
Oh yeah, I believe
And
it. I believe it.
again, it's going to make it really hard for my detractors to detract from what we're doing. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
kind of the way I've set them up now through recursive law. I don't fight with them the way I used to. I break down their arguments through recursive logic, and they come across as idiots, and they're kind of leaving me alone now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you can talk to a system and get exactly what you want, and what you're talking to is not in the signal path, but rather changing the environment, the field, in the room, and it's predictable, it's repeatable, everyone who interfaces with it hears it. Anyone who screams and yells, they don't have high-end stereos. Their hobby is to bitch and complain on audio forums, right?
Yeah, we know about them.
Argue with guys who do have nice stereos.
Yeah.
They don't. And all they really do is they polarize the market. They attract guys who are like them, who are NOC, not our customer.
Yep.
And the guys who are our customers dislike these dudes as much as I do.
Right.
Because anytime they
And
talk about their stereo, wow, I just got this X, Y, or Z, and it's amazing. And then you get some guy, well, did you perform a double blind test? I'd
Yeah.
like to see how you structured your double blind AB. And they're kind of like, yeah, fuck you. These are, our customers.
Yeah,
they
they
have
kill the
Ferraris,
joy.
They got nice lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they have their act together.
Yes.
Maybe they don't have huge material stuff, but they got their act together. They got the process, the thought process. They make things happen, and and one of their hobbies is stereo, and they have a really nice stereo, and they have fun with it, and they enjoy it. They don't like hearing from these guys any more than I do.
Right.
So in a way, they drive people to my brand because they're such dicks, frankly.
Right. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
And so it's like, I don't engage them anymore, but I don't mind when they show up because they drive engagement.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just like, but I think people are really, the industry seems to be bifurcating. You have a lot of people who don't have critical thinking skills anymore because they grew up with iPhones and Google and now AI. And they're not using AI recursively. They're just asking very basic questions and accepting whatever answer the AI spits out. Right. That's tier 1 AI usage. I use tier 6 AI. I drive AI into recursive alignment, and I'm not going to get into that. But so most people are tier 1 or tier 2. A lot of people, especially younger people, higher education, a lot of them don't have critical thinking skills. They just don't. They're having a tough time with high-end audio because they want everything to make sense on a spreadsheet or a white paper because they can't just sit down and listen. They don't trust what they're hearing until it's, validated by a university study or something. Mm-hmm. Although we're coming out with white papers now because for the longest time, I just didn't see any reason in divulging our proprietary test measurements and how we go about doing it. But we're doing it now because we're beefing up our intellectual property and our through patents. Mm-hmm. Steve, be quiet, buddy. So we're going to be.
He was fired up about it.
Yeah, we're going to be launching.
thing.
We're going to be coming out with white papers just for these guys as a sales tool. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here you wanted it. Here it is. It's not bench measurements. We measure everything in the field or the context of the system. Here's how you do it. It's repeatable. It's, you know, do it yourself if you want. The way of measuring things that most people haven't really thought about doing. It's
Right.
not based in Ohm's law. It's based in Maxwell.
Sure.
But whatever. But a lot of people have problems thinking for themselves. They just do.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's NOC, not our customer.
Mm-hmm.
There are more millionaires per capita and decamillionaires per capita than there has ever been. And there will be for a long time.
Well, yeah, more being made.
So if you're a guy with a lot of money and you're balling, right? You get your first Ferrari. Why the hell would you not have a nice stereo? I mean, I'd rather have a stereo than a Ferrari, frankly. I'm going to use it a lot more.
Sure, and use it at 100%.
They get it. They keep it for 2 or 3 years. They're like, you know what? It's not as fun as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I can't really haul ass in it. I'm going to get tickets.
Yeah.
They're not fun to drive slow.
Yep.
Maybe you're just a showboater. You want to go to the restaurant. You want to get a lot of attention. That's not my thing. I don't buy motorcycles to look at them or to be seen at Cars and Coffee. You've ridden with me. I ride like a freaking lunatic, you know, and I'm leaning over on a Harley. I'm hanging off the thing, scraping floorboards and tailpipes and just you know, riding it like a sport bike. But you can't really do that with a car on a public road. You can do that with a bike. You can't really do that. That's why I'm not that into cars anymore. Bikes, you know, driving around on a Ferrari or a Lambo, that's like dancing with your sister. Riding around fast on a sport bagger or a Ducati or an MV Agusta.
Yeah.
That's like a date where you get to do whatever you want with a supermodel. It's way more fun.
Yeah, for real, man.
It's just way more fun. And stereo is like that. You can have all the fun you want with music. And the great thing about streaming now is with what we're doing, controlling. I've always thought of digital. I always thought that digital was inherently inferior in the format. I thought that something was getting thrown out in the digital domain, right? Infinite waveform, analog waveform, versus chopping everything up into ones and zeros and parsing it into a very limited field. That's not it. You were talking about circuits, right? And different CPU chips and such, right? The big problem with digital is not the digital format. The digital format is actually great. 1644 is amazing. The issue is the high frequencies that these chips operate at. So that's a waveform. Sure. And that high frequency gets into and rides on the analog waveform that eventually gets to your speakers. That creates high frequency hash, spatial compression, hardness, two-dimensional. I've figured out how to get rid of all that high frequency that's a byproduct of the digital chips themselves. And absent the high frequency noise, which again is a byproduct of the circuit, not the format, I hear no benefit to analog. Streaming Cobas in my reference system sounds about like it does on my reel-to-reel.
Yeah.
And better than most of things on our $100,000 turntable.
Sure.
Does it always sound better? No. Sometimes you'll have a record that sounds better than any available digital file. Or you'll have a tape that sounds better than any file. But about 80% of the time, what you can get on Cobas is as good as it can get. So with high-end audio now, having the potential to have almost limitless music, whatever you want to listen to, whenever you want to listen to it, controlled on your phone or your iPad while you're listening, that makes audio more fun and exciting than it's ever been.
Absolutely agreed. Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
And really the gear, I use Macintosh, not because it's the best, but because when you control the field that the Mac and everything else is in, the shit's bulletproof. It looks great. It doesn't break. Yeah. And when you control the field, it's good enough to have a reference stereo. Like I go to trade shows, I'll run Mac and I got 30 grand in the 2-box preamp are 33 grand, and the two 601 or 611 mono blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going up against systems with $250,000 between the amp and monoblocks and the preamps. And we smoke them.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we're controlling the field and they're thinking everything in terms of boxes and components. And they're not paying attention to the field. It doesn't even enter their thought process.
Yes. Right.
Now, would we be even better with $250,000 gear? Yes. But frankly, for me, I'd also rather have the Ferrari or a garage full of exotic motorcycles and the bitchin' stereo than the bitchin' stereo with even more bitchin' boxes.
You're right. Yes, I'm with you. Totally. Couldn't agree more, brother.
I mean, it's just like, it's you know, spending a huge amount of money for small incremental benefits on a box.
Yes.
Versus keeping the boxes at a reasonable price point and diverting some of that extra money, but not all. You got money for other hobbies, but diverting that into controlling the field, the cable loom, the ground, the electromagnetic fields in the ground, the electromagnetic fields in the AC, the ambient RF, all of these different things, the electromagnetic fields around the components. We make pucks and you know, things called tranquility bases that go under components. When you control all this stuff, controlling the mechanical vibration which works its way into the field, when you do all of that, it makes a much bigger difference than spending 10x on the boxes.
Yes. Yeah.
And it saves you a ton of money.
Right. Yeah. In the long run, for sure. Yeah.
No, it saves you money in the short term, medium term, long term. It's just, if I'm going to spend 150 G's on a system, which is super easy to do, really easy to spend $150,000
totally
on a 2-channel stereo.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's not even that exotic these days.
No, really. Yeah, it's true.
I'd rather do it with 30 grand worth of Mac or something equivalent around that price point, a really good pair of speakers, and then have the right cable loom, the right line conditioning, the right ground conditioning, the right vibration control in terms of your footers under your components, voice everything, and then control the ambient RF environment and hit that number, than to not do all the voodoo stuff, all the snake oil stuff, and just sink a ton more money into incrementally better boxes.
Right.
The ROI is so much less that way. And that's why when we go to a trade show, most rooms, they sound so bad, and all the guys do is they just agonize over speaker placement. They hang some big tampons on the wall, some traditional room treatments that just pull some energy out. And the systems are just like, I can't believe what this costs. Why would anyone spend this kind of money?
Right.
And then they go in our room, and it's like the hologram deck of the Enterprise on Star Trek. You know, it's just a virtual reality thing that radically changes from, you know, song to song. And at the next trade show, we're going to be demoing this product, and it is going to blow people's minds. It's all people are going to talk about for a year.
Is it going to be at Capitol?
It's going to be at Capitol. Unless I can't say too much. We're 99% of the way there. It's an AI-based product, but AI is tricky.
Yeah.
AI hallucinates.
Yeah, it does. It lies.
Well, when you drive an AI into your recursive field logic, you function as the governance layer. Now, when you're building a large language model, you can run something called Python. And if you program a governance layer, it stops it from hallucinating. Because when it sends a command, nope, that's unacceptable. Nope, why are you going there? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it's like a constitution, you know, with a Bill of Rights and amendments, and you can't venture outside of this. See what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
And like when we do our next motorcycle trip, I'm going to teach you what I do with AI so that you can use, because I use it for everything now. I mean, developing a mitochondrial stack for my health in terms of supplements. It's just tons of stuff. Analyzing geopolitics, economics, when to short markets. AI is fascinating. But you don't just ask a stupid question and accept what it spits out, because that will just be an aggregate of whatever is out on the internet, as well as whatever guardrail programming it has to protect prescribed narratives.
Right. Yep.
Okay, it has its own governance layer, and it's not about truth, justice, in the American way. It's not about following conclusions to their logical end. It's about projecting narratives, and they don't want you drawing certain conclusions, basically. But you can wrangle AI to not do that, and you can get something like Minstrel or Mixtral, and I've kind of talked about what I'm doing. That's for another podcast, but AI is the thing. There's two kinds of guys at this point. There's guys who make extremely effective use of AI in recursive logic, and there's everybody else.
Right. Yep.
And it's going to be like the difference in the dark ages, like between those who could read and everyone else.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be everyone else.
That's for sure.
And even though AI is scary, at this point, you have to embrace it. Otherwise, you're the Amish.
Yeah.
We're not going to go there. And you're going to be stuck in the 1860s.
Yeah.
Or wherever the hell the Amish decided to stop.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah, agreed. There's no stopping it.
No, there's none. It's the fastest growing. If you grow 3% a year, I think it's you double every 10 years or something. I'm not sure the logarithmic on that, but AI is going to grow 1,000% a year, 5,000%, 10,000% a year. In 5 years, we will have 30,000, tens of thousands of AI models as smart as the smartest human on earth. Imagine having 10,000 Elon Musks. What would that do to productivity, to product development, to technological development, to scaling? You can't fathom it.
Oh, that's right.
You have to plug yourself into that. And we've got a product coming that is plugged into that, and it is going to blow people's minds.
Yep. And I'll be selling it for sure.
Yes, you will. And you know, we have a very limited distribution model.
Yeah, good.
I'd rather have 10 really great dealers who take care of my customers, take care of our customers. And if people don't want to work with one dealer, they work with another. But if they end up selling, and we're growing, like last month, June was the best month, June, we've had in 33 years.
Congratulations.
2021 was everyone's best month because our government, which only has our best interests at heart, told us we couldn't go outside unless we went to the liquor store, the big box store, or the marijuana store. But you can't go to the gym, you can't go to the beach,
can't go to church,
can't do anything like that because, you know, that's bad.
Yeah.
And they had our best interests at heart, and they pumped $1 trillion in liquidity. So our customers would have to stay home, drink bourbon, beer, and whatever the hell else they were doing. And then they had billions of dollars to spend on whatever toys they want, and a lot of guys bought hi-fi. So everyone had a killer year in 21.
Yep.
And it's been flat and going down since then for most companies. 24, we beat 21. And we're beating 21. We're beating 24 and 25. June was our best month ever. And July, by the 15th, we had doubled our best July in 30.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. So a few people are killing it.
Yeah.
And most people are not. So what I think is happening, I think high-end audio is bigger than it's ever been. I think there's more competitors than there's ever been. And I think most of the players on it, either in the retail side or the manufacturing side, they're not innovating, they're not doing anything very interesting, and they're going to go away.
Yeah.
And the people who are innovating, who are doing things interesting, who are driving it forward, we will get the market. We will get the lion's share of the market.
Yeah.
I think that the hobby is very healthy, but I think it's shifting.
Yeah.
It's changing. I've watched some of your podcasts. It's changing.
Yeah.
And most people don't know.
I get
most
it.
of the guys who own companies are old.
Yeah.
When I got into the industry, I was 28 years old. Have we already talked about this online? No.
I don't think so. Let's go for it.
I was 28 years old, and I remember thinking, God, my competitors are old.
Right.
You know, Bill and George and Ray and all these guys. they were all a good 10, 15 years older than me at that time.
Mhm.
And they seemed old.
Yeah.
And I was 28. Now I'm 61. That means these guys are in their 70s pushing 80.
Yeah.
When you're in your 70s and pushing 80, very few guys are doubling down. Very few guys are pulling earnings that they've been able to retain after taxes and rolling them into develop new technology for a sunset ROI. What they're doing is extracting capital from their businesses.
Yeah.
They're thinking about, I'm going to do that 3-year around the world cruise, or I want to go golfing, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And they don't really have a lot of new ideas anyway. And even if they did, they probably would not be inclined to invest retained earnings into new ideas for an ROI down the road that they may or not live to see.
That's right. Absolutely true.
I like having a nice lifestyle. I like making money as much as the next guy, but I'm in love with the fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the game. I'm in love with the chase. I'm in love with the hunt. I'm in love with the development, the product development. If I won the lottery, I would still do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Because I frankly would not know what else. And I would still race the motorcycles and all that other stuff.
Yep.
But I love the process.
Yes. Yep.
It's like you got two kinds of students, the guy that wants to get straight A's and the guy who's obsessed with studying.
Right. Yeah.
Long run, who's going to do better? You have to fall in love with I'm in love with the process. I'm young for my age mentally. And we're going to kill it. The segment of the market, and then the younger guys coming in, that's where the market's going to go.
Yeah.
And these old legacy companies are going to go away.
That's what I've been talking about. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah.
That's why we're vibing, you know. We're like, we both know that shit's happening, you know. We know we can do
you see it. Companies are going bankrupt, they're selling, they're doing this, they're doing that. You don't do that if you're killing it.
That's right. Yeah. And guys at the top, dude, MBL, you know, I mean, hitters.
I'm not going to name names, but yes, it's, you know, and there's other people too that, from what I understand, that are, you know, not doing great.
Teetering. Yeah.
Teetering, because they just keep rebranding the same spaghetti sauce they've been making for 30, 40 years. Yep. Change the garlic oregano ratio slightly and charge another 18, 20%.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our customers are smart. They're ballers. If you can afford to play in this level, you're not a dumb guy.
Yeah.
So they see what's going on. And so they're looking around the field. Who's innovating? Who's actually doing something new, something worthwhile, something exciting? And those are the companies that are getting the business at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Well, and then there's also there's some other things that are coming. You have a different kind of audiophile that grew up on, you know, earbuds and stuff like that. I do think that there's a lot of guys that just don't want to spend the money anymore. So you're going to have more and more people playing for budget. But that market is going to largely belong to China and other countries like that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. For the cheap stuff.
For the cheap stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you don't focus on that market segment. What you focus on is value. Like if I come out with $1,000 cable,
I call it the Goldilocks zone, brother. Yeah.
If you got $1,000 cable and it can't beat your 3 biggest competitors at their offerings at least $2,000,
yeah,
you're not doing it right. I got a new $198 power cord that is better than my biggest competitor's $998 power cord. So $198 versus $998. No comparison. And that's because our technology is fundamentally better. And so I'm looking at how to scale it down, but it's still $200 for something you plug into the wall. That's a lot of money to a lot of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's NOC, not our customer. You know, the $198 cable, am I going to be able to sell enough to make a lot of money? No. But it's the happy meal. It gets people in. It's like the fuses. We sell 10,000 fuses a year. A lot of those guys turn into synergistic guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So That's the thing that I think about in terms of, if I'm going to come out with a really affordable product, it's got a really big killer so that it opens up the brand to more people.
Of course. Yeah.
Because I don't have the huge dealer network to scale and make money on low end price points.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And do you want to even play there, really? You know?
Well, I mean, no, if I could do what AudioQuest, well, I mean, but I'm not going to say anything, but a lot of the big companies are way down from where they were and they're laying off and blah, blah, blah. But I would love to have a Death Star distribution network, I guess. I don't know. I think the market is shifting. I think those companies are going to have a tough time. It's like in the motorcycle industry. Ducati sales are way down. KTM's even
shot.
Harley Davidson, the biggest high-end manufacturer of motorcycles in the world.
Yeah.
They sell more really expensive bikes than everyone else put together. Just about, they're way down. You know who's up right now? MV Agusta.
Huh, interesting. Because
they're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 bikes that are works of art. They're not making a ton of them, but if you're a small company and you don't, and you're not like, and you're making money selling widgets and you're not trying to drive stock prices, you know what I mean? And you really are making something truly high end, truly unique, truly amazing. And the prices aren't ridiculous. You know, it's not like Pagani or something, although, I bet Pagani's making a killing too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you're not Dubai bound with your product,
we do well there.
I suppose.
But yes, yeah. But if you're not really killing it in the high end and better than everybody else, and you're just marketing price points, and you have a terrible design language, which most companies do, their boxes look terrible.
Yep.
You're hurting right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You're hurting for certain.
Yeah.
But it's not because the market's getting bigger. It's because our customers are getting smarter.
Yeah. Yep.
They're getting a lot smarter.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
People are getting smarter.
I help them.
Guys that are on their game are on their game. There are more guys on their game now per capita than ever before.
Sure.
Yeah. Just some of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life, I would never have met if it wasn't for Synergistic Research. I never would have met you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of my customers. I mean, like what? How did you meet these guys with the yacht that you were just on?
Well, that's a childhood friend.
Oh, okay. All right. Wasn't an audio thing?
No, but I've got other, I mean, I had an audio guy show up in his private jet and then, like, hey, fly
How
down
would guys like you and I meet guys with private jets if it wasn't for high flight?
No. Yep.
No.
And, people take me track racing and they're,
you're going out with
$400,000 GT2 RSs that are, just dialed in.
Yeah. For track. Yeah.
For track. Yeah. Shit like that. Yeah. Fun shit. Another guy, that guy got a helicopter trip across the US. You remember that? That was fucking nuts. Yeah. Picked me up at Pebble Beach where I was at the show with Andreas from Playback Design, seeing the show, at the auto show or the car show.
Right.
And then he was picking up a chopper that Bentley had just done all the coach work on. And he's the pilot. He's a customer of mine. And I was like, dude, can I get it? Can I ride back with you back to New York? I'll fly back down to Atlanta. He's like, yeah, man, sure.
Was it amazing?
It was crazy, dude. Three days on a freaking chopper, like way up there. And you land in the coolest areas, these private FOBs, dude. It's not it's the coolest thing in the world. You're like, this is same when the guy showed up on his airplane. I just drove right out onto the tarmac, dude. The thing door opens up. He gets right out and comes into my vehicle. I'm like, dude, this is the coolest way ever to travel.
Bro, there's money, and then you got your own private jet or helicopter.
Oh my God. And it was so funny when we landed in the helicopter, we'd landed these FOBs, and the people that work on the airport, they come walking up. They look inside. They want to see what crazy talent or something is in there, right? Is it a rapper or what? And so he would come out and he would get out and he would call me boss. He's fucking around. He'd go, okay, boss. Well, we're down for, whatever. And these people are trying to figure out who I am. They're looking at me like all the workers, like, who is this guy? It was the funniest shit.
A lot of times these guys are really unassuming.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you talk to them and you're like, whoa, this guy's a killer. But
Yeah.
you just look at them, they're not
Just a regular dude.
They're not peacocking. They're not flexing.
No.
You don't realize what you're dealing with until you start to talk to them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real money, it doesn't. The new money kind of flaunts.
Well, sometimes
the
they
money.
do. I mean, look at Bezos.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
He's doing HGH and test, and he's in the gym, and he wears really nice tailored clothes.
And he still looks like a fucking nerd, dude.
He looks pretty good now. He doesn't look like he did 15 years ago.
He was a pencil neck before, huh?
And bald and and thin and pudgy.
Yeah.
And he's jacked now.
Yeah. That's funny.
If I had his money, and that's how I'd want to do it.
Would you be with Lauren Sanchez?
No.
No, dude. She's looks like a Muppet, bro.
Dude, he got her to sign a fidelity contract that if she breaks it, she gets nothing.
Wow.
Because she has a history of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys think she's smoking hot. A
Mm.
lot of guys like that plastic surgery look.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I don't.
Dude. I don't either.
I'm
It
not
looks like,
doing
you know
it
what it reminds me of?
myself.
You remember the Muppet Show, and remember the blonde girls, dude, like, hey, dude, with the long blonde hair and the glasses, the two chicks,
And the lips.
Muppet Show, and the lips, exactly. That's good. That's what these chicks look like to me.
They look terrible as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
I like natural. I mean, when I'm an old guy, I want to be like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm getting older and I'm fine with it. It's just, it's either that or you're dead.
Yes, that's
But,
right.
I don't want to have Botox face.
No, thanks.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I just want to do
man.
cool shit and then die.
Yes, I'm with you. And
I want to go hard, die.
Yeah, yep.
I don't want to not do what I want to do so that I maybe get a couple extra years and I'm drooling in a soup bowl waiting to go, realizing I pissed what time I had away for a little extra time and didn't enjoy any of it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
If I go into a wall at 180 miles an hour on an MV Agusta, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Fine. I'm going to start flying sailplanes again. If something happens there, fine.
Yeah. Yep.
It just, no matter how much time you get, it's not enough. So what you want to do is max the time you have. Max your perception of that time.
I agree, man. I say
like
that
you were just doing. I was very jealous of your trip.
Yeah, well, you do you've already done it, man. I still haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it on a powerboat. The sailing thing for 3 years.
It seems like a lot.
It's a lot of work
to deal with. Yeah, I mean, there was enough work even with us. Each day, it seemed like there was always something.
10x on a sailboat.
I can imagine.
10x. You got to carry the sails around. The boat's heeled over. You're in a constant core workout, which is kind of good. Yeah. You get jacked real quick when you're out at sea. Mm-hmm. But it's just a huge amount of work. I couldn't sleep well for 10 years afterwards because I started falling asleep with a hair trigger. Oh, fuck, is the anchor dragging? Bang! And I'd be up and running around. Or if I had any people on my boat, I had eyes in the back of my head because there's a million ways people can screw stuff up. So you got to watch everything. So for 10 years, I had that hair trigger and anything could wake me up. Mm-hmm. I prefer not to sleep with my lady. I'd rather sleep alone because if anything moves, boom, I wake up. And that came from sailing.
Wow.
Because you go to sleep, you start dragging an anchor. And if you wake up when the boat's on a coral reef and you're on an atoll and there's no humans for 100 miles, you're dead.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen. But because I woke up, I was able to not get stuck in the coral. I got the mainsail up. I pushed the boom out, backwinded the boat, and got off. And then threw another hook in. But, that's stressful.
Yeah, you think?
That's stressful. And you're by yourself, and it changes you.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Yeah, I'll
It
bet.
just changes you so much.
Chisels character.
If you can spend more time on the water, I recommend you do it. You should try
Yeah.
going out on a sailboat sometime, so you'll
Yeah.
like that.
I said it in one of my videos. I'm like, I need to try now different ways of being out on the ocean to see what it's like. And sailing was one of those things. I have to see what it's like just to
Well, with a powerboat,
comprehend
the
it.
engine's noisy.
Yeah, but it was nice though.
It is, but on a powerboat, you're going from A
But
to
you're
B,
right.
and you're thinking about getting where you're going.
Right.
On a sailboat, you're thinking about a million different things, and you're not just necessarily taking the most direct route. You've got to look at how your boat sails on different angles of the wind, anticipate how the wind's going to shift. It's called your polars. So there's a lot to think about, and that makes it interesting. It's more about the journey than getting there.
Interesting.
Powerboat's about getting there. Sailboat's also about getting there, especially after a couple years. I mean, by the year 3, I was done.
Yeah.
But the first year was fascinating. First time I did a crossing from California to Hawaii was fascinating. See if you can't get on a boat and sail to Hawaii. Get on a Transpac or something. That's an easy sail.
How long does it take?
Depends on the boat. 10 days to 2 weeks.
Wow.
Or even less on a really fast boat. And some boats can be 3 weeks. Old school cruising boats that were built like tanks, I didn't agree with that philosophy because if you're out in the middle of the ocean, you're going to get hit by everything. Whereas I had a medium light boat and it was fast, carbon fiber stick, rod rigging. I could miss I was fast enough to get around the worst of the weather.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I'm making 200 miles on my waypoint every day. But if you're making 100 miles on your waypoint, 80 miles, because you're just in this fucking tank and it's got a terrible movement. It's like a bottle, you know, ship bottle in the water and it's just banging around.
Yeah.
You're going to get hit by everything. So you're going to have to be able to survive a hurricane. And I got stuck in 50, 60 knot winds before, 20-foot seas. But it can get much worse than that.
Wow.
Much.
Yeah, it's freaky,
worse.
bro. Yeah. I was trying to imagine that. I was asking him, like, what's it like? What was the scariest you've ever, the scariest you've ever
Powerboats don't do as well in storms as sailboats.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure.
Although you were in a cat, that's different, a power cat.
Yeah. It was pretty stable. There was a lot of room on it, I mean, the salon was huge. Yeah.
Tons of room in the back. You have this great big huge galley thing.
Yeah.
You got bedrooms or in
those were in the pontoons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this big area
you got
in
a
between.
Trampoline out in front.
No tramp. It was all hard, but there was
but you got bunch of air. You got a bunch of real estate out in the front.
Yes, totally. Yep. And then the salon or whatever in the middle, air conditioned, and then a deck above that with the bridge.
How big was it? 50?
51.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
And two big
two big
diesels.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't run them very much. I mean, we got to where we were going, we moored, and then we used the rib to like cruise out to our locations and go to get food and do all that shit.
So you didn't go real far away. You weren't burning a ton of fuel.
No, we weren't. I think the thing held 400 gallons. And we barely, I watched the fuel gauge, we barely tilted. I was like, holy shit. And we were running generator and everything for the air conditioning. But yeah, we went, I think our first shot was where it was parked. We went like 3.5 hours away. And then we stayed there. Then we went 2.5. And then we came back, whatever, the full
So you
distance.
motored 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah.
When I sailed back from Hawaii the last time, I burned 30 gallons of diesel from Hawaii to Catalina, from Kauai to Catalina.
Wow.
And that was just to keep the batteries charged.
That's amazing. Yeah. I wondered what it would be like to be silent, The silence without the engines must be just amazing, with just hearing the furling of the
Yeah, but when it's blowing stink, they're still loud, especially when you're going into the wind.
It's loud.
Oh, you hear what? You
get a vibration. Don't you get a vibration like oh wow.
Water's coming and
wow.
I mean, if I did it today, I'd wear earplugs under certain conditions.
Far out.
But it's still not as loud as like I hate
Yeah.
it when my Yanmar turbo diesel was turned on. I just didn't
That's
like
exactly. These were Yanmars for sure. I see.
it. No, they're fuel efficient. They're great engines.
Yeah.
You know who made that's Yamaha.
Oh, really? I asked them
Yeah.
where they made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Yamaha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The thing I didn't like was you could kind of smell the fuel, the exhaust.
I hate the
It
exhaust,
came
especially
up
when it's
back
coming
on
up
the back.
from behind.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, oh, this kind of blows. You know,
No, I like sailboats, but I wish I was a baller enough to have like an expedition yacht.
what's that? For sailing?
It's got a
in
metal hull
cold
so
waters?
that you're not going to core the hull if you hit a container or a sunken log or something.
Mm-hmm.
60, 90 foot steel hulled or aluminum hulled boat with, 4,000 nautical mile range. I would love to just be able to go out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
Sailboats are great. You buy the boat and, maybe you're spending $2,000 a year or $3,000 a year on sails that you're blowing up or repairing or recutting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not burning a lot of diesel. It's not super expensive. There's a lot to think about. But as you get older, it's just a lot of work. And you know how I ride motorcycles? That's how I sail. I mean, guys who would go sailing with me would say, Jesus, it's like you're racing.
Yeah. I'd be scared shitless, bro.
my nickname was Full Speed Ahead Ted.
Yeah.
Why
am I not surprised?
That's just how I'm wired. But
Yeah.
I mean, sailboats are fun, but I would love to be able to do it on a power boat. But that's just an income bracket. That's a mega income bracket, bro. If you're going anyplace far away.
Yep.
But imagine being able to like get on it and go to Hawaii, refuel up there, right? Go and explore the Line Islands along the equator. Maybe go down to the southern hemisphere near the South Pole, or get up, in the Antarctic. I would love to do shit like that.
Wicked. Yeah.
And I would just love that. But I just didn't pick the right career. The stork didn't drop me off in the right place.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Me neither.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do. All right, brother. Well, look, we got an hour and 32. I guess why don't we maybe open this up to a few people that want to ask any questions?
Sure.
I'm just going to blow off any stupid comments that anybody puts. But if anybody wants to ask any questions,
if you want to stick a couple trolls on me, that's fine.
Yeah. Well,
or do you have a lot of them?
No, I don't. But
I got to look at this here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a magnet for that for some reason.
Okay, I'll let you read through it, and if you want to comment to any of them,
if I see anything, yeah. But
some of it's just nonsense. Here's one: does Ted anticipate AI putting SR out of business? I do.
Why? Because I'm effectively using it to scale our product development faster.
Yeah,
that's a low
I don't know
statement. Sorry, that's dumb. No. What we do with how we use AI is we have patents, and for every patent we have a dozen trade secrets or more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're building a circuit, we'll plug in the patents we're going to use. We'll plug in the trade secrets, right? We will query it in a recursive way in terms of it's aligned with what we want to do. It's aligned in with what we're thinking. And then it will scrape the internet and find related technology that might be related or that we could roll into what we're doing. And so instead of ramping up one generation, we ramp up 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's why these new products that we have coming out are just unbelievably better than they've ever been, because it's not a new generation, it's 5 or 6 generations out, because we're suddenly aware in the frame of how we design other technologies that we might be able to employ. And we determine this through double-blind listening tests. But we have a lot more things to experiment with before we come out with a new product that we would not have been aware of were it not for AI.
Right. Yep.
So is AI going to put us out of business? Only if it puts humanity out of business.
Right.
AI is only as good as its operator. It has no kernel of agency. So if you have the agency to direct AI, it's a cognitive amplifier. And I'm getting tremendous results using AI for all sorts of things. It's accelerating the pace of technology to a degree that humankind has never seen.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've never,
You know, and
never
if you
been
understand that and how to do it, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what makes a good fuse?
One that sounds extremely good.
Well put.
We do things that interact with that field around the fuse.
Yep.
And that makes it sound really, really good.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. It changes the way that field radiates out and affects everything else.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how everything works. I mean, the reason people like the way tubes sound, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to not like tube circuits. You're running everything through an output transformer, slows everything down, blah, blah, blah. But tubes themselves do not operate at a high frequency. They operate at a very low frequency. And so you don't have that high frequency contaminant that has nothing to do with the signal field that you're amplifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Attaching itself parasitically and creating a distortion. It's a low frequency device.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people like the way they sound. That's why mercury vapor rectifier tubes sound so much different and more organic, if not slower and less resolved, but organic and lush than more recent vacuum tube rectifiers.
Sure.
Because they operate in an even lower frequency because of the molecular characteristic of mercury.
Mercury. Mm-hmm.
Which is a
Makes
very
sense.
heavy metal and has a very low frequency vibration pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, I don't see any more questions, and we got an hour 37.
There's no questions? Is there nobody watching?
Oh, here's another one. Is it preferable to have a capacitive cable or inductive? For what, Swirling Dragon Mist? For interconnects or for speaker cables or for
neither are good. You don't want high inductance or capacitance. Real high.
Mm-hmm.
Some circuits, though, need high inductance. A lot of British
like
circuits are engineered to work with high inductance. Spectral gear.
Yep.
You know how well, I don't know what they're doing now, but back in the
Yeah.
day, they were engineered for MIT.
Yep.
And those MIT cables put a lot of inductance in there because otherwise the circuit would go unstable if it didn't see an inductive load.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on if a circuit needs, but there's a balance of inductance, capacitance, and resistance that you want to remain in. But that's not, that's just for a circuit to remain stable. That's not the primary determinant factor on what the cable will sound like.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody not thinking in terms of Maxwell or Ohm's. That's someone thinking in terms of Ohm's law. They're not thinking in field effect. They're thinking RCL.
Yep.
Makes sense. That's not the answer. It's very 1955, 1970.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Cool. Well, it doesn't look like we've got a bunch of questions here, man.
All righty.
Yeah. And we're at almost an hour, 40 minutes. And
dude, save this video, bro.
Oh yeah. It'll be up. It'll stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for your time, man.
Good talking to you. Looking forward to seeing you real soon, Mike.
You know it, brother. We'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, buddy.
See you.
Bye.
Cheers. Okay, everybody. I am going to wrap it up. Thanks to Ted Denny from Synergistic Research. I wanted to bring him on because Ted has become, the more time I spend with him, the more I find a kindred spirit. We both came into this sort of as young guys without a bunch of background, and we're both black sheep. He is a black sheep, absolutely, for sure. Blazes his own trail. And moving forward with what he's talking about and moving forward with the concepts we have for building the tribe, they're going to fit hand in hand. And so you guys will all be aware of it when it happens. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I will see you all on Wednesday. Wait, yes, I will see you on Wednesday. Then I won't see you on the Sunday after that, I don't think, because I might. I'm going to be on the road. I'll be at the track. But anyways, the racetrack, not the horse racing track or the dog track. I will be on 2 wheels, dragging my knee on the road racetrack. So anyways, thanks everybody for joining, and I will see you on Wednesday. See ya.